Alrighty, welcome to the PSBS, that's the PlayStation Bullshit Podcast. I'm your host, Code TPS, and by voice host here is
Andrew Arenas, double is
yes, and this is episode 66.
66.
I think that's right. I'll make sure my numbers are always right. We're recording a little late tonight.
It's not that late.
Well, I just if one of us passes out during the recording, I don't want I want people to know the context of that.
Oh, I'm not going to pass out like I did like a month ago. Was that a month
Yeah,
or
like
month and a half ago?
you were just gone by the end of the episode, mumbling about Smurfs or some shit. I don't know.
What was it like? Smurfs?
I don't know.
Or like Trolls or something with the new Trolls movie?
No, this was before the Trolls trailer. No, this is
Trolls.
you. You were mumbling something about Smurfs by the end of it, and I was like, okay, I gotta wrap this up. You were out of it.
I told you it was like low battery power. Like I was just like kind of just like, and then like, oh, Assassin's Creed,
Yeah,
whatever.
Assassin's Creed, Smurfs movie.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know how
yes.
I lived through that. I'm still alive.
Yeah, it's weird.
Still,
Still alive.
I miss that game.
That's why we try to avoid really late recordings. Now the void.
Maybe not ones that are like at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, we try to avoid those. It's only it was midnight for you. It's 11 for me.
Yeah, almost July 1st.
Almost July 1st, beginning of the month.
Mm.
But yeah. But anyway, so we got news and stuff to cover this week, like we always do. Let's
A lot of
see.
news, actually. I think,
A lot
right?
of news. Yeah, we got a good bit of news this week. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's start with what we usually start with, because like you said, tomorrow's July 1st. You know what that means? Well, not specifically July 1st, but it's the new month, and new month means
PlayStation Plus games.
yes.
Finally.
Yes, the new games, the games that will be free with PlayStation Plus in July have been revealed. Let's go from the bottom to the top on this one. On Vita, you're getting a PSP game again. Prince of Persia Revelations.
I don't remember that one.
Which one?
Prince of Persia Revelations?
Yeah, was that a good one? I think that was a good one.
Was this the one that was based on the movie?
No, I think this is still based in the original games. Like the original trilogy, and this was like set somewhere in between those games.
Okay.
But still, it's a PSP game. No trophies. Also on Vita, we're getting Orinkisha Tainted Bloodlines. Don't know what that is.
No, honest. Neither do I.
Honestly, I don't know what that is, so I'm sorry. If someone out there loves this franchise and we just don't know what it is, I'm sorry.
Oh.
On PS3, PS3 again continuing to scrape the bottom of the barrel as far as old games. On PS3,
they are.
Yeah, on PS3 getting Fat Princess.
Huh.
Like, wasn't this game already given away for free, basically?
Might have been the sequel of it, actually.
No, there was Fat Princess, and then they did a thing a while back where if you just download and play the iPhone game long enough, you get it for free, the PS3 version.
Yeah.
Then I think the PSP version was free with Plus at one point, I think. Because I had the PS... Well, actually, I think I bought the PSP version. I think it was like really cheap. It was like a $5 sale and I got it. It was fun, the PSP version. And the original game's fun too. I like the patterns. I never played the new one. What is it called? Adventures or something?
Yeah.
Because it's not really the same kind of game. It's like a top-down adventure thing. I don't know. It's not a thing. That game will probably be free at some point.
I don't know. I was never a fan of the Fat Princess franchise.
I liked it.
I mean, I appreciated his art style and it seemed pretty fun, but I don't know. When I played it, it was just kind of... Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I like that. Like you said, it just stands out. That art style is really great. It's bright. It pops. I do like the splashes of violence. Like, blood actually comes out of the guys. Like, you don't expect that.
Yeah, and that's what's cool. And then, it was like that first kind of like PlayStation Network downloadable online game.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not the first, but, like a very... It was one of those first ones to really encourage, having a community playing online. I wonder if it's going to be boosted once it's out there free.
Maybe. I don't know, because I like Fat Prince. I got it when it came out on PS3, but here's the problem with this game. This is why we liked it, but we didn't play it as much, because I don't know what was up with that game. I don't know if it was cursed or it was just like really bright or something, but like we used to, like when we first got our PS3, we had an HD TV, but we had one of those like not one of the first HD TVs, but like the next wave when they still ran on like that bulb thing inside. You know? It wasn't an LED TV. That's the
Oh,
standard now. But this was like before LED became the standard. They had like a bulb. They had like a bulb in it. So after a while, your TV the bulb can actually burn out, and you just have to swap out the bulb, and the TV starts working again.
oh, there you go.
But here's the thing, though. Oh, every time the bulb would go out, we were playing Fat Princess.
It's a cursed game.
So I don't know if the game was cursed or it was just way too bright for our bulb. But like when we first started playing Fat Princess, after about 2 days of playing Fat Princess, the bulb burnt. We got a new bulb, and a couple of months later, we started playing Fat Princess again, and the bulb went out again while we were playing that game.
Mm.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if the game was just cursed for that TV or it was just too bright for that bulb. I don't know what it was, but that put us off from playing the game. We were like, no, we don't want to play this game no more. It keeps burning out the bulb.
Now with the free on PlayStation Plus, now would you, with maybe some new players, maybe would you play it again?
Well, my PS3 is not set up.
Oh,
So I stick to my PSP version, I guess.
I guess so.
Guess so. But yeah,
Also, games.
Also on PS3, we're getting Call of War as Bound in Blood.
Oh my god.
Which one is this?
Yeah, Call of War is Bound in Blood. I played this one a little bit.
That was a good one.
I mean, it was okay. The good one that we got was like a couple of months ago. I don't remember what the subtitle of it was, but no, this was like the really old one from like 2008 or 2009. So
yeah, this isn't the. Oh yeah, we got the shooter one. What was it called? Something like that.
Yeah, the one that's kind of on rails.
Yeah, that was a good one.
That was Gunslinger.
Yeah, Gunslinger. That's what it was. That was a good one. This one was all right, and then Cartel was the terrible one.
Cartel was like okay. It was just like trying to be realistic,
modern day setting.
It was somewhat, but
because that's when every
Ubisoft.
Every game franchise was like, let's do the modern version of this game. After Call
of Duty did it. Yeah, that was the one that Techland tried to put out. Yeah, that one wasn't received very well, actually. I think that one I was thinking of maybe was Bound in Blood.
That's the one that's going to be free this month.
Oh, that's it. There you go.
That was the first one on PS3, I think.
Yeah, it was the first one on PS3. Gosh, that was a long time ago. Yeah, 2009 this one came out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember it too fondly. That game also does support multiplayer. So,
it has trophies, at least.
Has trophies. A very difficult trophy list, if I remember correctly. So, it's a shame. I kind of wish a Call of Juarez game would kind of be like a stable franchise. But
it's not a Ubisoft.
Imagine if we got like yeah, I know, right? Like imagine a Call of Juarez like on PS4 technology and Xbox One.
The problem is though with that is that a certain other game is probably in development.
Oh, but I mean, that's the open world, kind of deal. I mean, I would like if
there's no way Ubisoft would make another Call of War game and not make it open world.
I know. When was the last time they put out like a campaign-driven game, right?
Yeah.
When was the last time when we come to think about it, like
it's not open world. Like it's a linear story.
Have they ever put out those? I mean, other than like platformers or like in the downloadable titles, have they ever put out? Wait, For Honor? No, wait, that has multiplayer in it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean the main campaign's not open world. I don't.
So For Honor might be that one.
Then. Might be it.
But I would just I would like a return to Call of Juarez, actually,
I don't know.
But I know Red Dead's coming. I know Red Dead's eventually coming, but this is a first-person game, not open world. It's a different segment of the market. I would like it if a Call of Juarez game come out.
No, I mean Ubisoft's probably maybe thinking about it, but like they said, they have to pretty much wait till after Red Dead 2 comes out because they just can't compete with that.
No, I guess. And it is a thing of note that Ubisoft did outsource these Call of Juarez games to other developers that are not Ubisoft. Ubisoft just published these games.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a thing of note. So, I mean, when was the last time Ubisoft really outsourced? Anything. I mean, South Park was the one, but, Ubisoft basically just picked up the first South Park and just went with it.
Yeah, the new one's made in-house.
New one's made in-house.
Yeah, but Obsidian's not involved with the new one.
No. And then just like everything's made in-house at Ubisoft. It's just like kind of crazy. Yeah. When was the last time they outsourced something to a third party? None. I mean, I can't remember. The Crew was made in-house. All Assassin's Creeds recently have been in-house. All of them. Well, all of them. Watch Dogs in-house. Whew. I don't
Hmm.
know.
You're an in-house developer. Well, maybe if everybody goes out and redeems
Mm.
Call of War as they'll
Spike
you
some interest.
yeah it'll spike it and Ubisoft will go maybe we do need to revive this franchise because according to Sony they announced this week too like what 40 million people are plus subscribers.
Yes, they did. Oh, I was
So
thinking another factoid then.
factoid. So if all 40 million of those subscribers loads up their PS3 and redeems Call of War as Ubisoft will be like, wait a minute, what? People
Okay,
care?
I think if it was its rival competition, if the original Red Dead was up for free, I think you had a spike of people getting that. But what was it when Rockstar's never put out a free game for PlayStation Plus? They put their games at substantially
Discounts.
marginalized prices, but
Yeah, get
never
Max
free.
Payne 3 with all the DLC for $5. Sure.
Yeah, not free, but it's
Pretty
close enough.
much. Close enough.
Just like the order when it was like
Yeah.
five
$5.
dollars. Or yeah, I mean that's the closest you're gonna get to free.
Yeah. But yeah.
What else? What other games do we have?
But yeah,
Call.
speaking of free on PS4, what are we getting on PS4? We're getting Furry, Furi. Not sure what the game is either, sadly. But I think it's a new game. This will be like one of those like launching, it's free at launch kind of things, you know?
I'll try it out.
So we'll see. And then the kind of big game for PS4 is Saints Row Gat Out of Hell.
I already have this game.
I
I
don't even
mean,
have it, but it's still neat. I mean, I think they probably should have just gave out the whole thing. You know, Saints Row 4 plus Gat Out of Hell
it's
for free.
strange because like they just had both of those substantially discounted on a sale like a week or so ago.
Yeah, like right now, I think, or like you said
Oh,
last week, Gat Out of Hell was on sale.
yeah. Well, I think like the bundle thing was on sale for. Well, I believe it was just Saints Row 4. Just alone was like $4, and then Get Out of the Hell was even like $3. So, I don't. I mean, that's okay. I mean, I've had Get Out of Hell for like a while. I had like a code of it, and then redeemed it and played it for a little bit. I'm just like, eh.
Eh.
I mean, it was neat. I mean, it gave me a lot of that Brutal Legend feeling.
Yeah.
Because I love Brutal Legend. Maybe if they scraped more at the bottom of the barrel, not this is not a bottom of the barrel game, but like if they brought Brutal Legend free for PlayStation Plus, that'd be great.
Yeah, and all 40 million people redeem it, and then Tim
Tim
Saber's
Schafer-
like, I
be
should
like,
start a Kickstarter for this.
oh yeah, exactly right. I mean, I maybe gotta stop my remasters.
You know, like, if 40 million people are really willing to redeem it, maybe those 40 million people are willing to donate $1, and that's $40 million right there to make a game.
Well, then you have to have 40 billion backers, and then that would literally be if they were in the credits, that would be the longest credit sequence, longer than Mighty Number Nine.
Oh yeah, was it 4 hour
About
credits?
4 hours. So it has the world record for the longest game credit sequence of all time.
Oh boy, all those disappointed backers.
I think like some other long games are like GTA 5. GTA 5's credits sequence is ridiculous.
What was the one? Wasn't the credits sequence for like PlayStation All Stars like 30 minutes to an hour or something like that?
I mean, I would be willing to believe it. I mean, goodness gracious, like all the Sony games, like first party games, could have been their credits could have been like condensed like in half if it wasn't for like all those like extra Sony people that
Third
really
party
did
and
nothing.
all that.
Yeah,
You have to
international
acknowledge.
relations.
Yeah, you have to acknowledge everybody. You have to acknowledge. Thanks to. I'm drawing a blank. Thanks to like 2K and Irrational Games for letting us use Big Daddy and Ken Levine. Thanks, thanks. Like naming all the people that work at 2K and all the people that work at Irrational Games and all that. And
Yeah,
it's
it's
like,
ridiculous.
yeah, thanks to Capcom for letting us use Dante, and thanks to the creators and blah 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 blah. And it's like, oh my god.
And especially funny in indie games, like games from like that company or the Unfinished Swan. Like you would think like, oh, like their credits are incredibly short because it's only like not even a dozen people, and then you just have a bunch of Sony people. It's just like,
Yeah.
like
Or what was the other one? Like Uncharted 3 was kind of long. And I remember it was just like, thanks to Sony Worldwide, thanks to Sony UK, thanks to Sony US, thanks to, and then like thanks to Havoc thing and all those people, thanks to Bungie and all this and all this. I'm like, what's going on here?
Uncharted 4 was done well, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
the 200 or so people at Naughty Dog was finished quickly, but then you had Sony's as well.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Rock Band 3's specifically was a long credit sequence, but it was a funny credit sequence. It had like the pictures of all of them and all that. That was funny.
Visual representation.
Visual representation. I mean, it had like it had a really great credit sequence. Like I said, GTA was overtly long, but it was cool. Played some really good music and had some cool stuff in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Red Dead's was neat. Can't really think of really any others.
Well, it was because I played it the other day, but Tales from the Borderland had great credits,
Oh yeah,
beginning and
how
end.
about just a great game all around? Now
Yeah,
fine. Mm-hmm.
yeah. I mean, I just like I wanted to start each other just so I can see the opening title credits because it was just so good.
Yes, there you go.
Even though you had to play like what 2 chapters sometimes just to get to the opening credits.
I believe it. What was one was like the longest chapter? Episode 4. I remember being like a long time until you got to like the opening credits.
I'm like, isn't this episode almost done? And they start playing the opening credits.
I know that's what I was thinking. Or was it episode 5? Which one was the one that like took over like a really long time?
It might have been 4.
4, yeah, it was 4 because
Because I
they
think
were
4
already.
was because I think in 4 the credits didn't even start till after the big like traumatic event in episode 4, and then the credits were playing. I was like, what?
Yeah, I guess they really wanted to like I guess have some variety.
But it was so good. Like the credits were just so good, and Tales from Borderland beginning and ending credits.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What other games are going to be hitting PlayStation Plus?
No, that's it.
Oh,
Yep, Furry, Got Out of Hell, Call of Wars, Bound in Blood, Orchid, Train in Bloodlines, and Prince of Persia: Revelations. It's all your Plus games.
Hitting July 5th.
Whatever the first, yeah, July 5th, the first Tuesday of July.
Okay.
So, there you go.
Now, since you did finish Tales of Borderlands, like, would you rank it pretty highly with the other Telltale games that have come out in recent memory?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd say
it's probably
pretty,
like
mm,
maybe third best.
third best.
Because I'd probably put like Walking Dead Season 1 probably at number 1. Because that still holds up.
Yeah, I mean, it does. I mean, I played so many times.
And
I would
second would probably be Wolf Among Us. Then Tales from the Borderlands.
I mean, I'd probably have to put Wolf Among Us probably at first because, I mean, I just love the detective story in Walking Dead, probably Season 1, second, and then, yeah, Tales of Borderlands. I mean, it's really up there because Tales of Borderlands is phenomenal.
Yeah.
So well done. I mean, and now did it get you kind of pumped in the Borderlands lore a little bit?
I know, right?
Oh, like, yeah, see,
like exactly. I want Borderlands 3 now.
Mm-hmm. And I already told you that. I told you like a long time ago. Like, oh, there was like a traumatic event, and that it's gonna make you think about like, look at Borderlands 3 get ahead. So, who knows? Won't spoil it. Because I know there's still a lot of people who are heck that maybe just bought it just like you.
Yeah, I bought it this week because it was like 4 something on the sale.
Oh, I think that might have been the cheapest it's ever been. Beforehand, it was like maybe like 7 or like 5.
I bought that and I bought the Walking Dead Michonne. I haven't played that one yet, but I have played Borderlands this week and finished it.
Yeah, I didn't get to Michonne. I didn't buy it.
Well, that one was $6, and
I know
Tales was 4 something, like $4.50.
I wanted it to be a tad cheaper, but like for some reason I just didn't hop on it.
That's about the price of one episode.
Like one
a little
episode.
More.
It goes to show. I mean, it'll probably be on sale again. I mean, the Telltale games are like so.
I mean, once we get closer to Season 3.
Or hell, what if it becomes PlayStation Plus?
Oh,
maybe. Never know, right? And then well, I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
What if this is going to be something for Walking Dead Season 3 at Comic-Con?
Probably.
Yeah.
Because they said it's going to have a big presence. That and a certain other game, which I'm about to talk about.
Ooh.
Speaking of Telltale and their series and all that good stuff, Telltale announced this past week, well, not really announced, but kind of stated that they plan to release, there's actually an update on this news. Let me check real quick. Okay. It says, there was an update. They said at first they said okay, let me get this right. So at first they said their plan is to release all of Batman this year.
Mm-hmm.
Now the update is that they plan to release it all this year. Not guaranteeing that, but that's the plan.
All right.
Is to get a Batman all this year, which is pretty impressive when you think that episode 1 doesn't premiere till August.
September, October.
That's one episode.
Oh. That is one episode a month. You think that's doable?
I mean, Telltale really has been putting out their stuff quickly.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, this is something we've always talked about before. Like, God, like I couldn't imagine because I
Mm,
played Tales all in 1 week, but like you were playing it episode by
yes,
episode, and there was like
uh,
what? How much?
awesome.
How many?
Well, I believe it might have been when the gap, especially between episode 1 and 2, was about 3 months, and then also I believe it was 3 to 4, which was 3 months, and then 4 to 5 wasn't too much longer. I think it was about 2 months. Well, that is long, but yeah. But then they've switched things around. At first, like I've said multiple times with the Mojang, the Minecraft one, I thought that was Mojang maybe cracking the whip
Mojang.
on yeah, Mojang. Cracking the whip at Telltale, like saying like, "Hey, if you're gonna make this series, you better like actually put it up because I'm sure these kids that are gonna play it are not gonna
Yeah.
have the attention span."
I
But
mean, that's what I said for Game of Thrones, and that did not work.
oh no, nah. That was not gonna be. I was thinking more for Mojang because it's more of a. Not that I'm gonna say that Minecraft's a bigger franchise than Game of Thrones, uh, which are
Game of
probably
Thrones is the adult version of Minecraft. I don't know.
yeah, basically
In popularity, not in like subject matter or
not
something.
something matter.
Unless you're building castles, I guess, in Minecraft.
Or hell, like a fully fledged open world Game of Thrones game would be kind of cool. But we already have something like that. It's called The Elder Scrolls. Not even close.
Well,
But
Dragon Age.
yeah, Dragon Age, and you
Because
got all.
Dragon Age has more like dialogue options and stuff, and that's a big part of like Game of Thrones.
Yeah, a fully fledged Game of Thrones game would be good, but it's unfortunately it already had a battered game before on PS3.
But that was different. That was like
That
back, like
was-
that was like back, like right when the show was coming out, so it wasn't like in the height of the popularity, and it was more based on the books than the show.
hmm.
I find it weird that like they're not trying harder to like really make a AAA Game of Thrones game. You
I
know,
know what you would think, right? Wouldn't that be something like they would hop on and like think about getting like a publisher? Like, what if From Software made a Game of Thrones game or
oh
like?
god, they would relish in it because your characters would always be dying. They'd be like, they all die.
I mean, that would
No,
be
I wouldn't.
fantastic though.
I
Like,
couldn't
what?
see. I don't know. I couldn't see From Software doing it because it's just they do different games. Like God,
Platinum
if
game.
yeah, if HBO kicked down BioWare's door and like, please make this game. It's like
I'm sure BioWare would be all over that.
like oh God, BioWare made Game of Thrones game. That'd be
Like,
insane.
then say goodbye to Dragon Age.
It's like all.
Basically, it could be Dragon Age, but just colon Game of Thrones.
That's what they're gonna do. They're just gonna use the Dragon Age engine and then just skin it with all Game of Thrones stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they would probably. I mean, I'm sure like the Frostbite engine they're using in Mass Effect Andromeda is going to be like the engine they use here on out.
Oh yeah, they're gonna get all the actors in and be like Amelia Clark digitalized. They're gonna get her in the mocap suit and everything.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta have it in the Frostbite. She's gonna look a hell of a lot better in this game than the Telltale game. Yeah, it's a kind of a shame actually that HBO or even people over there haven't really realized the potential that Game of Thrones would actually be a pretty good video game, fully video game, not interactive narrative.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it serves it well as an interactive narrative. Yeah. I mean, I like season 1 of Game of Thrones, but I would the potential of a full game, licensed game would serve it well. I mean, who knows? Maybe Sucker Punch or Insomniac.
You never know now. You never know.
Because have that surprise PlayStation exclusive Game of Thrones game. People are like, oh shit.
Oh yeah, no, Microsoft will say that for next year. Like, oh, you thought Spider-Man was big? We're gonna have an exclusive AAA Game of Thrones game for Xbox.
Yeah, because HBO does have that relationship with Microsoft.
Yeah,
they make the Game of Thrones exclusive consoles. They make that. They get the app first, and
they get like every year they give the premiere episode for free on Xbox.
Or I hope we don't get like a lame ass Apple TV game since HBO does have good relations with Apple. So I hope that we don't get some lame ass Apple TV game. No, I don't want to think about that.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But anyway, back to the initial question. Yeah, I mean, it'd be great. I think Telltale can pull it off. Like, get Batman out this year, like all of it. Yeah. But will it get delayed? Probably. Like, I won't be surprised if they end up delaying an episode or two. You know?
I mean, just watch the episode. Well, would it go up to 5, correct?
It's 5 episodes.
Okay. Yeah, you just never know with these things now because Game of Thrones and Minecraft totally
I mean,
went the other way.
Game of Thrones was slow, but Minecraft was fast. They had those out, like, what, every 2 weeks? I think they had an episode out.
Well, at one point they had it like every 2 weeks.
And then the Michonne one was out every month for 3 months. They got that one on time. They delayed the
Uh,
start of it, but they did finish it on time.
I just think seeing how hot a property Batman is, I think they really want to get that quick.
Yeah.
They understand, especially with these franchises, that I don't think there's any more time dicking around with the, like, oh, we're gonna make you wait 3 months. I mean, sure, that maybe worked for Wolf Among Us and Game of Thrones and even friggin' Tales of Borderlands, but like, I don't think that's gonna work for these like really big franchises. So,
Just put out Batman Episode 1 the same week Suicide Squad comes
mm.
out, so you can syndicate all that Batman hype.
Get even more Batman.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just watch them put episode 5 like December 31st.
We're going to do it. We're going to get it
Years.
out this year. We don't care if December 31st. I don't even know what day it is. Like, even if it's like a freaking Monday or a Thursday, they're going to put it out that day just so they can hit their mark.
December 31st is on a Saturday, but then again, I
Oh,
mean, the PlayStation Store can update any day, really.
yeah.
So you
I mean,
never
they put out
know.
the Fallout DLC like on a Thursday.
Mm. Yeah, no, isn't it a shame like we talked about like last year, maybe around this time that Sony lets developers experiment what days they can put stuff on the store, but like really no developers have really experimented with
The
that.
only two that have done it really is
Mm. That's,
Bethesda doing the Fallout DLC. Like those are released
mm.
on like Thursdays, and I think what the Call of Duty DLC doesn't usually come out on
Yeah,
like a Friday.
yeah, it usually comes on a Friday. Well, I mean, that's been like a staple, but it's weird. I mean, I would have thought more developers maybe would have taken advantage of that, but maybe they just want to be on that set schedule of like, yes, it goes up on Tuesday. They get through cert and everything, it's certified, and just go up along with everything else, I guess.
Or the Lego games, like Lego Jurassic World came out on a Friday because they wanted to tie it in with the movie.
Yeah, right.
No spoilers, man. They didn't want to spoil that
Maybe
movie.
because they don't just want something to just be like stealth release, like what was that game? Adventures of Mana on Vita.
Yeah.
Um, I mean that was on a Tuesday, of course, but like I guess they don't want to just like put something out there if it's like a full game and be like, was the store updated? I don't remember. Maybe if it's like updated along with everything else, then I guess it would get more spotlight than if it was to be. But I would just say because it gets shuffled on like everything else, and I hate that like. Just everything in that news section on PlayStation just is just a barrage of just so many microtransactions of all these games. I mean, I don't know if you've been seeing recently, but like when you go to the like new this week section, it's just a barrage of so many microtransactions from all these like games I don't even know about.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Well. Oh, did you notice on PS4 though they changed the game page?
Yeah, they have.
It's weird. Like no one was really talking about it. Like, hey, they changed the game page. Like no one was saying that. I had to like go in the store and I saw. I was like, oh, they changed it. I'm like, okay.
It's weird, and it also reminds me, brings to light that I believe like it was like on a forum. I don't remember which site exactly, but like someone had like leaked screenshots or assets of like a fully redesigned PlayStation Store. Because I thought that maybe would have been part of the 3.50 update or the newest one that came out with the Mac Remote Play, but it didn't seem to come to fruition. And there's
Well,
no newly designed keyboard yet or anything.
well, it's probably they're trying to slowly build to it because they don't want it to be like last time where they like fully redid it
Oh.
overnight and it was just terrible and didn't work.
Yeah.
They probably want to like slowly build to it, like slowly change it, like not even tell people like, oh look, we changed the game page. Did
Yeah,
you
the game
notice?
pages are different. Yeah.
Change that. Change maybe this little sidebar one day. They'll just randomly change that on the side. That randomly change the search. Like they'll just slowly do it in pieces, so it's not all at once and just crashes.
Yeah, because for the most part, I like it. I mean, that obnoxious keyboard needs to go away. Cart's fine. And just about everything in it is fine. I like the graphics on it, and the interface is fine. I just little things like that need to be fixed. And then I guess maybe for the new game page, just kind of just at least maybe bundle things together for like games. Like if you have like, okay, the week that you had like 50 stuff come out at once, I'm not even exaggerating, for Evolve. Can you maybe just group all that stuff together and just have one icon that says new this week for Evolve or whatever, new this week for this game, and then just have it as a tab, and then everything else gets its own?
Yeah.
It's a little obnoxious whenever you have like 30 things covering up like half a page on your TV screen full of crap that you don't even care about, and then just things. I thought PlayStation 4's initiative was to show you things you care about first, but I don't think that ever came to fruition at all.
I mean, that's what I always said too. I want to see in the store, like, because there's a lot of times when you go in the store and it says, oh, like sometimes they'll say, but like, hey, you played this game. What about these games? Like, sometimes you see
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's right.
Like, I would like to see something where like you go in the store and it says, hey, you have Fallout 4, and they just have like the Fallout 4 DLC on the homepage.
Yeah, I would
Because
like that. Yeah, we have like the game pages on like the if we have the app itself, but I would like to see that on the store. Just have like, game publisher pages or developer pages or something like that by like publisher or something like that. I don't know if something or is already around, but I know the Xbox store has something along those lines of like you can search by publisher or whatever. Kind of similar to how you look for like TV content. I would like to see how if you can do something like that. Like, oh, I just want my Bethesda games. I just want my Telltale games. I just want my Sony first party games. Um,
yeah,
it would organize it better.
yep. But anyway, but speaking of fixing things and Batman and all that, it was announced this week that Batman Return to Arkham, the remaster of Batman Arkham Asylum and Arkham City for PS4 and Xbox One, has been delayed indefinitely.
Definitely.
Indefinitely. No new release date has been set. The game has just been going back into development. Warner Brothers Interactive Order is saying that it is because they want to fully polish in the game and work on it some more. And I'm like, okay.
I'm like, all right, fine. I mean, I don't want it to come out and just be a complete disaster. I mean, it's gonna get its day one patch either way.
Yeah, I think that's just what it is. They really don't want another Arkham Knight on PC situation.
Then it's the same situation when they freaking announced Arkham Knight in the first place. Like, why did they even announce it? Well, I mean, let me back up because like we did want this collection announced like for a long time, but like,
well, that's what I think. That's the
why?
that's the difference though. Like the Arkham collection has been leaked over and over and over again to where they just had to announce it. You
Mm.
know. Now, why did they announce? Oh, hey, it comes out in a month. I don't know why they did that, but they had to announce it because it was just leaked out so much.
I think the one that was like really bad was Arkham Knight. Like that was just terrible. Like the like 6 month delay and whatnot. That was just totally just to build up hype for that. Like that date, they knew they were not going to hit that. That was just ridiculous. I didn't like it. Bought the game either way, but and that's all relative, just the delays and whatnot. But yeah, Arkham Knight's like a whole announcement gig thing that they did for it was just basically just all online stuff. But that was just ridiculous. I mean, it's not like when I first saw the trailer, I was like, "Oh, they're not going to hit it," but like, "Oh, I was so excited!" And then like, "Oh, whoop, 6 month delay."
6 month delay.
So whenever you have a Warner Brothers game announced or something that's of the Batman franchise, don't even believe that. Don't even believe it.
So Batman VR is not coming out at launch.
Probably not. Oh, dude, Batman VR has been getting such good buzz. I want to try it. You kind of laughed at it at first. You're like, Batman VR?
I was like, what do you do?
What do you do? You're Batman. What do you think?
I don't know. There's no gameplay of it online. I mean, people played it, but like, there's no actual like video of it online.
I mean, people are like, dude, this is like my game of the show. I'm like, how? It's not even going to be like a full game. This is an experience. It makes you wonder how long Rocksteady worked on something like that, actually. So it probably kind of, I mean, okay, it's not like all resources head on deck or on VR, but, Rocksteady put time into this.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and then on top of that, they were working on an Arkham Knight DLC, so maybe they were working with that in conjunction with the Arkham Knight DLC.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, we'll see. Like I said, I wasn't ever really itching for this Arkham collection anyway.
nah,
So
no.
I mean, if it needs more time to not be
fine.
a
A
disaster, it's
disaster.
fine. But
Still gonna get a day one patch with it, though.
yeah, we're still gonna do it.
Doesn't matter.
But speaking of collections that we do want and are itching to get, it was finally announced today, after again many leaks, that the Bioshock collection is coming to PS4 and Xbox One. Finally, including Bioshock 1, Bioshock 2, Bioshock Infinite, all the DLC for Bioshock 1, all the single player DLC for Bioshock 2, and the DLC for Bioshock Infinite, all running at 1080p, 60 frames per second, and it'll be released on September 13th.
Sweet.
So, really exciting. This has been leaked for so long, and it's finally here. Well, not here, but announced. It kind of sucks though, man. Like it's coming out in 2 months. Like I just feel like this is something they could have announced and said, "Hey, it'll be out like next month in August or something." You know,
I know, right?
that's usually what happens with these collections. They're usually not too far away once they finally announce them.
Hmm.
So I mean, it's really cool. And then Bioshock 2 will not have the multiplayer.
Yes.
The multiplayer's been taken out, so no multiplayer DLC. I assume the multiplayer trophies will be taken out. It's to be seen if they'll replace it with some new ones or it'll just be a shorter trophy list.
Probably a shorter trophy list. I would say probably a short trophy list.
Well, I mean, that's kind of what they did with Uncharted, right? They just took them out, but then they put in those bonus ones anyway that don't even count towards the platinum
Yeah.
for like Uncharted 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
So, we'll see. And then, well, actually, I think it's also coming to PC, right? But it's only Bioshock 1 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really weird the way that it said that, too. Like, oh, we're not putting Bioshock Infinite on PC because it's already perfect on PC.
Well,
Like,
I mean, well, it's actually kind of noted that when Bioshock Infinite came out in 2013, it always touted like I mean, Bioshock Infinite already supports 4K on the PC, so it's already already top of the line. The game could look pretty up there, so it doesn't didn't really need that treatment. 1 and 2, on the other hand.
But I just find it funny to signal out. Like, I mean, could you at least just include it for the people who like don't have it at all? Like, just be like, hey, if I buy this, I get all 3 games.
Yeah, it's a little inconsistent. I mean, you could get Bioshock Infinite dirt cheap,
I guess. But anyway. But yeah, I'm really excited for this collection. I know it's super hypocritical of me because I keep complaining about some of these collections, but this is one I want.
Now, are you a little like put off by the asking price? I mean, it is $20 a game, but 60?
60 isn't. I mean, I'm getting this. Well, how about this? I'm gonna get a day one through Amazon and get my 20% discount. So I'm only gonna pay $48 for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think that's bad. I mean, for what it is, I mean, like you said, it's $20 a game. You have all the DLC. It's gonna look really nice.
Yes, of course. Bioshock, and Bioshock Infinite, some of the greatest games ever.
It's gonna look really nice.
Um,
Yeah, and then Bioshock 1 is one of those games that's like up there with Resident Evil 4 for me as far as games that I can just play and never get tired of. Like I can just replay it over and over again, just never get tired of it.
Forever.
Like I want to play Bioshock 1 again. Like I've probably played the game at least 5 times and I don't care. I want to play it again on PS4.
I mean, you platinumed it, right?
Yes.
Third. Yeah, so you're going to platinum it again?
I platinumed 1 and 2. I never got around to platinuming Infinite.
Not me either. Okay, because I'm not like a little because I played the hell out of Bioshock 1 and 2. Infinite, I played it twice, and I just never got around to platinuming it since my PS3 did break. But I do have the digital version of Bioshock Infinite, though on PS3. It's just I'm not too itching too much to play the original Bioshock again. As fantastic of a game it is. I mean, I platinumed it 3 years ago. So did Bioshock 2. I'm more itching to get to Infinite. But what is enticing me, though, is the DLC, though. Because I never got around to playing the DLC for the original Bioshock, which is the challenge room things.
Yeah, I played it.
And then Bioshock 2 Minerva's Den, which is the Gone Home director's one of his original works at 2K. So.
That's the thing. I need to play these DLCs again, Minerva's Den and Burial at Sea, because like everybody in the comments are praising those DLCs as like some of the best story DLC ever. And
I mean, Minerva's Den seems pretty cool. I remember.
Did you
play Minerva's Den?
Yeah, I did. Like I remember it being good, but I don't remember coming away from it thinking like, "Wow, that's amazing!" Like this was, like some people said it was. Like some people were saying like it's one of the best story DLCs ever, and like I just remember finishing it, thinking to myself, "Yeah, it was good," but like I didn't walk away like amazed.
That's kind of tough. I mean,
and
the
then,
GTA.
And then I thought my first initial impression of Burial at Sea was that it was a mess. But it's one of those things where maybe once I play it again, it might
kind of grow on you.
Yeah, it might click with me this time because that was the problem with Burial at Sea for me. I think what happened with that was that it was just weirdly released for me because like I had the season pass, so I was already going to get it all. So what happened was Burial at Sea episode 1 came out. I played it, and then I think this is what it was. Episode 1 came out like the launch of the PS4. So I didn't play it right away because I had my PS4.
And you had the season pass.
I had a season pass, so I got it, but I already had my PS4, so I didn't play right away. So I finally got away from my PS4, loaded up my PS3. Let me play this Barrel C episode 1. Finished it. I was like, all right, I want to see episode 2. Episode 2 didn't come out yet. Episode 2 came out. Guess what? The launch of Infamous Second Son. So I was playing that first. Played through that for a month or two. Got my platinum, and I was like, oh wait a minute, I didn't finish my Barrel at Sea. So go back and play it, trying to get through it, and then go back to my PS4. So like, I don't know. I think having it all at once now, I might be able to like, maybe it'll click with me more this time and not like feel disjointed of like me loading, swapping out consoles, loading it up, having this big wait, me kind of forgetting about it,
Mm,
So
right.
we'll see.
Yeah. I'm excited to at least try out these single player DLCs, and I'm excited for a slew of new people to get their hands on Bioshock. Oh, all of them. I mean, I like Bioshock 2 a lot too. Just that Infinite and Bioshock 1 are some of the finest games ever created. Um,
So good.
yeah, I love the original Bioshock, and I love Infinite even more. Probably one of those few people. I know a lot of people like the original Bioshock more, but I like Infinite a lot. Even though I didn't play Infinite as much yet. But maybe when this collection comes around, I'll probably play it a heck of a lot more.
Oh, finally get that
It's just
crossing.
that people really saw Infinite as like that shooter, uncharacteristically a shooter, when Bioshock really isn't a shooter per se. Because the original, you shoot things and you have that survival horror aspect, but it wasn't all about that. But yeah, you were using plasmids, but I just think maybe what some people have gripes with Infinite is that it was very combat heavy. You're just shooting guys left and right. But I think that was that game's intent, kind of all along, really.
And then you got the Battle in the Clouds, where it's just arena,
Yeah, which
arena
is just
waves of enemies.
yeah. You have like, I mean, hell, in the first Bioshock. Well, in the first Bioshock, you had like those challengers, but like you're not like slaughtering a bunch of people, right? You're just like kind of doing puzzles.
You're doing puzzles while fighting enemies.
See, yeah. So so that's a little odd, actually, when you think about it. That contrast there.
Yeah.
They had to be different, and
Yeah.
In Bioshock's Infinite Story, not spoiling anything for people that haven't played, but it's insane.
It's so good. It's just
It's one of the best stories
like
ever, and the ending is
the ending.
incredible.
Like I said, I think the ending really went over people's head. I don't want to say like I had the definitive interpretation of it, but I'm just saying like the way I interpreted it, it just clicked in a way that like expands beyond like it. The way just I don't know the way games are just played and shown,
Exactly.
And I feel like a lot of people didn't get that.
That's why I loved it. Yeah, I didn't walk away with the exact representation at first, but I mean, it took me a little while, of course. But like, even when I first played it, I was like, "Whoa, that's like crazy." That was like, and then of course, I had to read it online and everything. And then once it really started clicking, it's fantastic. I love Bioshock Infinite so much.
So good.
Well, yeah, definitely one of the finest games of that year. So 2013 was
2013 was that year, man.
it was that year.
That like
Never,
that end of the PS3 generation.
yeah, I pray to God that we get something like that PS4. I hope,
I mean,
or Neo. I don't know. Please, just something like.
God, 1 year you got Last of Us, Bioshock Infinite, and Grand Theft Auto 5 in 1 year.
It just doesn't happen. I mean, yeah, you have some years in the console life cycle where you have a bunch of new franchises that really blow it out of the water. I mean, 2007 really comes to mind. But
those are like 3 end of the generation games,
Right, exactly.
And now they're all on PS4 now.
Yeah, just about like all the 2013 games are now on PS4 games now.
Yeah,
Grand Theft Auto 5's been on. Yeah, Tomb Raider, fantastic game. Also, 2013. Yeah, Tomb Raider was 2013.
Tomb Raider, South Park,
South Park now, and
Last of Us, Grand Theft Auto 5, Bioshock Infinite,
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls.
Beyond Two Souls. Yeah.
All the 2013 games are now here in 2016.
Exactly. Finally. Now, I wanted to see if I can insert my question here.
Okay.
From Indica00.
Mm-hmm.
He or she asked, how long until Playdead's Inside comes to PS4?
Oh boy.
Inside came out this week on Xbox One, getting rave reviews.
Yes. So here's the thing about Inside. So even before the reviews came out, I was actually really excited for this game. Like, it looked really good. Those like trailers we see at E3.
Oh, it looked
You know,
fantastic.
and this is of course from the creators of Limbo. And didn't Limbo do the same thing where like it was only on Xbox for a while?
Yeah, it was.
How long
Mm.
was it before Limbo came to PlayStation?
Limbo's original release, I believe, was like 2010.
On Xbox? On
Mm,
PlayStation?
PlayStation, I believe it might have been like 2013.
So 3
Yeah, I mean,
years.
initial release of Limbo on Xbox 360 was July 2010, and PlayStation 3. Oh, no way, really? I felt longer than that.
When was it
Maybe
on
it's because
PS3?
like, 2011.
Okay, so it's not too bad. What is that? Oh.
That I do not remember.
Well, if it's one, because that's the problem with Microsoft. Like that's their standard contract usually with these developers is a 1 year
Mhm.
contract. You know, at least on console. Like PC, I think it's like a 6 month contract. But on console, it's like a year. Because we saw that with Tomb Raider. It's a 1 year contract, which we still haven't got an announcement of that yet. Rise of the Tomb Raider coming to PS4 should be
Oh,
this
well,
fall.
actually, yeah, the question about that. I mean, well, actually, maybe to answer this guy's question first, like, yeah, I mean, Inside's not coming to PlayStation anytime soon. It's going to be probably a year.
Probably a year.
But going back to Rise of the Tomb Raider, going back already was already stopped that. No, I mean, I some people had the notion that this was already announced, but it's not even been formally announced yet. But a lot of people are expecting, oh, we're gonna have how come Rise of the Tomb Raider wasn't like briefly announced at E3 at least, or like a or something, or even at the conference. I'm like, Sony is not going to really push this game. I
No,
mean,
they
they're
no,
not. They're
they
not going
missed
to
the boat.
They're not going to reward Square Enix for putting out a game exclusively on Xbox first. They're not going to do it. I think I'm going to be honest with you. If anything, they're going to at least maybe. I don't know if they'll even go as far as to even put out a blog post for it. Like, well, of course they will because
I
it
mean,
gets
there
put
has
out
to.
as a weekly drop. But
I mean, you're right that there's not gonna be like a grand announcement like
no,
Rise the Tomb Raider coming to PS4. Like, no, it'll be like you said, a blog post or something to be like,
there'll
oh,
be a
Tomb
blog.
Raider's finally coming to PS4 on November, whatever.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be a lesson to Square. Like, just they're not going to reward. They're not even going to put up the marketing dollars in doing it because for one, they don't deserve it. Two, they already have the mindset of the people that already know that it is coming, so you don't even really have to worry. You have a slew of like GameStops that will already have the calendar there for you, telling you that that's coming out, or just the little boxes. So no, they don't need to do a grand announcement for it. If anything, trailer on YouTube from maybe just a Square channel or just a tweet, and then it's set. You don't need anything else more than that.
Yeah, and then we're seeing again this year because they announced that Dead Rising 4 is time exclusive.
Yeah, you gotta love Microsoft's wording with it. It's
Yeah,
very
like it's a, and then they said too, like I think they said too, it's another 1 year exclusive.
yeah.
So that means we're
So
going to get Dead Rising 4 next Christmas.
yeah, that's exciting. Not gonna get Dead Rising 3 probably ever, but oh well.
Dead Rising is a weird franchise. Like
Yeah, it is.
the first one was only on Xbox. Then they did a PC version. Then they did a Wii version, but there's no PlayStation version.
Mm-mm.
Then Dead Rising 2 came out simultaneously launching on PS3 and 360. Then 3 came out only for Xbox One. Then I think they did a PC version, never coming to PlayStation. Now the new one's coming out first on Xbox, then a PC version, then I guess a PlayStation version a year later. It's crazy.
Yes,
But
it's
yeah.
ridiculous.
But back to the Inside, yeah. I since it's an indie game or a downloadable game, I don't know if it's going to be like a little different the contract, but 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, 6 to 12 months, unfortunately. But I would love to play Inside. Maybe if I get my Xbox One S just to get Inside, play it on that Elite controller. Oh,
Oh
yeah.
dear God, you're going to go buy a $150 controller to play Inside, where you
Well,
probably
actually,
only
130 now. I saw.
oh 130 to play a game where you probably only need the D-pad.
Yeah, without incredible looking D-pad on the Elite controller.
It's a
God,
circle.
it's like a circle. It's like it's got all sorts of individual directions.
It's a pancake.
I would. Oh man, get that Xbox One S. But
You just have a
yeah,
weird obsession with that Elite controller.
it looks so good. And plus, the Xbox One controller itself is already so good. So I just don't imagine it even being better. Yeah, I love that Xbox One controller. I love that video of that mod, that guy that made like the Xbox controller work with the PlayStation. I couldn't tell if it was real or fake, but I was like, you got the Xbox One controller working with the PlayStation. What? But that's not gonna happen. Um, yeah, because
Sorry,
they
I
had their
like
1 millionth one.
sorry, I like my parallel analog sticks.
Yeah, the parallel analog sticks are fine. I mean, I haven't had a PlayStation controller break on me at least in a year now, so everything's been good. But I mean, I much prefer the Xbox One controller, but the
I mean,
PlayStation.
they've actually improved the PS4 controllers. They had a thing out where they
Huh?
actually improved the insides of it.
Huh?
Well, like they didn't make a big deal out of it. They were like, if you look at your serial number on the controller you're about to buy, if it ends in like an S or some number or something, you know it's like the improved model.
Huh? Well,
Stuff
they
like
just
that.
quietly
Yeah,
did
like
something.
it's like a little internal thing, like where the triggers are at.
Hmm.
They fixed something in the plastic right there.
I think because they know that that's an issue.
So they fixed it. Yeah, so it's fixed. You just have to make sure you have one with a certain serial number. There's some
Maybe.
article I saw about it.
Do they know like what time frame, like what date? I mean, I got that controller in
I
2015,
don't
summer
know.
2015.
I have to look
I
it
don't.
up to be sure. I don't know, man. I've used an Xbox One control. The only thing I like better on the Xbox One control is the analog nubs themselves.
Yeah, those are awesome, huh?
Those are nice.
Yeah, those are
But
nice.
other than that, I just don't like the bulkiness. I don't
It
like
is
the
bulky.
I don't like the placement of the analog sticks. I just don't like. I like them
The D-pad's
parallel.
quite good though. I mean,
D-pad's
it's
alright.
clicky. It
It's
is
clicky,
clicky.
but I don't know.
That's supposed to indicate like where you're at, but the PlayStation one is kind of like. I mean, yeah, the PlayStation D-pad is classic.
And I don't like how like the little bumpers are like flat. They're not like a button. They're like a click thing. You know,
Yeah, I mean,
not like
well, I
not like a real
think the thing
button.
with that is because the games that utilize those buttons anyways. I don't think it's like too big of a deal.
I don't know. Like I said, the only thing I like, I'll admit to the thing that I like better is the nubs themselves. Not even the placement of them, just the nubs themselves.
Yeah, they're so nice.
So,
Yeah, I want that Elite controller one day. Can't wait.
well, isn't that rumored that they're working on like a redesigned PS4 controller?
Yeah, but there's really, I mean, there was some substance to that rumor, but yeah, probably not gonna. I mean, that was like the question. Didn't we have a question or something? I don't know. I don't think I proposed it, but if like Neo was to have a redesigned PlayStation controller, but I don't think that's gonna happen.
What is
I would like
Ubisoft?
maybe Sony to enter the market of custom controllers, just like Microsoft did. Official store custom controller. That'd be cool. Like for $80, you just deck out your controller.
Yeah. No, my disk drive was freaking out, making
Oh,
a weird noise.
be cool.
Anyway, fixed it. I fixed it though. Anyway, let's move along. Uh, what do I want to talk about next? We have about 10 to 15 minutes.
Mhm.
What can I talk about real quick? So there's something I wanted to bring to light because we should. It's a Vita game.
Oh wait, Adventures of Mana?
No. This week, Zero Time Dilemma came out. The sequel to Zero Escape Virtue's Last Reward was the sequel to 999. Yeah, I got it this week, and I had a funny story behind it.
Okay.
So here's what happened with this game this week. So the game came out on Tuesday, right? And I decided to pre-order on Amazon Thursday afternoon, Thursday before the game came out. I pre-ordered it, and Tuesday came along, and I got no email saying that it got shipped out. And it's supposed to come in the day the game comes out, right?
That's right.
Release day shipping. So Tuesday morning, I woke up. There's no email saying that it got shipped out. I was like, "What happened?" I go to the Amazon page, and it's like, "Oh, the game is like on back order. They said it'll be available sometime between July 10th and the 20th." And I'm like, "What? This is crazy." So I load up GameStop app, and I'm like, "Well, screw it. Let me see if GameStop has it." I load up my thing to see which GameStop near me has it. Only two GameStops near me had it, and they're like an hour away.
Mm.
I was like, "What the hell?" I was like, but luckily, I knew somebody who was near one of those GameStops. So I was like, I called them up. I was like, "Hey, where you at?" I go near. I was like, "Can you go to GameStop pick something up for me? I'll put it on hold. Can you go get it for me?" And she's like, "Oh yeah." So she went through that. And I got the game Tuesday. Took me a little extra effort, but I did get the game Tuesday. And I
Mhm.
looked up what was the problem. Like, why is this game not available everywhere? And apparently, what happened was there was some type of like damage in the shipping of the game.
Yeah.
So it kind of delayed because there's two versions of the game. There's the regular version of the game, and there's like the super limited pre-order version that came with like a watch. And at first, the article said just the watch versions were going to get delayed.
Hmm.
You know, but apparently, I guess it affected all the games because Amazon didn't get a day one. Amazon didn't have them in stock day one to ship out to anybody. GameStop, only a few GameStops apparently got shipments. Best Buy didn't have it. I was just looking around different websites and no one seemed to be having shipments ready.
Hmm.
It sucks because people want this game. I mean, it's a Vita game that people are caring about. It's getting good reviews. I played it for about 2 hours so far. I'm really enjoying it. So it's just weird to see this happen where it's just like, God, this Vita finally has this big game and it's just this whole thing's happening.
Mm. Yeah, that's a shame. I would just think, especially with a game like that, it's at least physical, which is
Yeah.
nice.
Because, I mean, yeah, you can digitally download it right now. Like, if you really want this, you just want to digitally download it, that's there. But, like, people who want a physical copy,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess not the first time this happened. I mean, I don't think it was, like, a shipment delay. But, like, I remember when, like, Danganronpa came out, that was a thing where, like, a lot of stores just weren't stocking the physical copies.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just kind of hard to find one.
Yeah.
So it was just a niche thing. But yeah. But still, it feels good though to have this another physical game to put in my other physical Vita game boxes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I can add one to the stack, and I can actually play this game on my Vita. Actually put it in the card and all that.
Right.
So that's neat.
Mm-hmm. Wow, when was the last time you like swapped out the card on a Vita?
Well, actually, when I opened it, there was no card in there.
Oh.
I was thinking maybe something left in there, but no, there was actually no card in there. I'm like, what? When was the last time I played a game? Like, actual physical, like, card, like, put the card in. I was like, I don't know. But anyway, so there's that. I just wanted to highlight that game. It's awesome. Like I said, I would say go get it, but you might have trouble getting it, or at least a physical copy. But I might talk about it some more later, because like I said, I'm only about 2 hours in. It's a long
and
game.
that's a time commitment.
It is time commitment. But it's weird. Like, I looked up the trophies, and, like, already 6% have the platinum.
Oh.
And this game came out Tuesday.
And
it's hard to find.
Mm.
Well, if it's anything like the last game, Zero Escape, it's probably an easy platinum to just take you a while, because you have to, like, fully finish the story.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you fully finish the story, you'll have the platinum. So it's probably what this one's like. Because like I said, that's crazy to see that's already at 6% platinum rate.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not even ultra rare. It's just rare, like 3 dots out of 4.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm.
So we shall see.
Definitely.
But you know what we're not gonna see?
What we're not gonna see?
What we're not gonna see. So this thing came out this week. Some footage and info about a canceled Daredevil game.
Oh, the Daredevil game.
You seen this?
Yeah, it looked neat.
So there was this Daredevil game apparently in development back in the day for PS2, and it was supposed to be like a tie-in for the movie, but then development got delayed, so they started to try and develop into its own original game, and it was going to be on other systems, and then it was just the common story of just things not coming together and pressure of time and all that, and it got canceled. But they showed some footage. It looked neat. Because I know this is something you were talking about last week about how, like, oh, if Telltale made a Daredevil game, it would work well because, you have the lawyer aspect and then the crime fighter aspect,
Hiding your injuries
and all that. But, I mean, as much as like the Telltale games, though, we want the big things, like the big open world kind of AAA things, with our heroes, and we want to see more of it from Marvel. And it just kind of sucks that this game didn't get made. This could have been cool. That's what you say for every canceled thing. Like, I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, it sucks this got canceled. I mean, it sucks when a game gets canceled, but, like, I'm not one of those people that automatically think because it was canceled, it could have been amazing.
Yeah, it's interesting now with, like, the, our, like, how the internet is now. Like, we're getting, like, all these canceled games come to light. I mean, especially, like, the coolest one in the recent memory was seeing the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, for PSP.
On PSP, oh my god. Well, I mean, I know that was just, like, a debug, it ran well.
Yeah.
Even though it's like a sliver portion, the whole open world wasn't like made, but like, yeah, seeing that I was like, whoa, man, this like runs really well.
Yeah, man, I told you about that one too. You didn't even believe me. Like there was
Yeah,
this.
I did. Yeah, I think there was
Yeah,
like something else, but
you're
like
like,
I remember reading about it like in one of those PlayStation magazines for like way back. Like, oh, I remember like they just use a stock Elder Scrolls 4 picture, like next to it was like a PSP, like oh Elder Scrolls like PSP or whatever. I was like, what? And then like you told me about it, like, no, I don't believe you.
and then it came. Yeah, we saw it, and the same thing with Saints Row for PSP. Cancel one got leaked out.
We saw that. The next one we need to see Resident Evil.
I
But
don't know.
did
I
assets
don't.
of that even get made?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I don't even think any work was even done on that. I think
Wow.
like Resident Evil PSP is just like Bioshock for Vita. It just never got actually made.
Oh my
It
god,
was announced.
The
It was a,
Bioshock for Vita one is just.
it's heartbreaking.
I mean, just. I mean, let's not take it too hard. I mean, that was just Ken Levine probably just being like high and excited, you know, with PlayStation be like grabbing like he really loved the Vita, right? And he just pulls it out. He's like, you know what? What would be a good idea? Bioshock on this thing.
And 2K's watching the press conference like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like panicking, like looking around, like who
Like,
greenlit this? Who
like
greenlit this
what?
shit?
Like, what if it was like literally off the book, like off the cuff? Like he was playing the Vita the day of, and he really loves this thing. He's like, you know what would be really great on it? Bioshock. And like he has Vita talking as he's presenting. He's like, oh, you know what else would be great too? He takes it out of his pocket. This thing. And 2K's like panicking, like, oh.
We didn't sign no commitment papers. We have nothing set. We have no obligation to make this game. Your verbal thing is not a contract.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he got some shit for that. Like, I don't think you're supposed to
Yeah, like I want to know the behind the scenes of that.
off the cuff, like very. Because look, I think at the time I did like think it kind of not personal, like you know, I was like, oh, where's my Bioshock on Vita? That was like always the thing, but now that Irrational Games is basically wiped off the face of the earth, well, that technically, I mean, they're kind of not defunct, but
They're disbanded.
they're just banded.
They're working on
They're
other
all,
stuff.
like individual people are making great things. Like you know, you had the writer of the original Bioshock. He went to go off and make Spec Ops: The Line story. Steve Gaynor, Bioshock Gone Home, and then Fulbright.
They got those guys working on We Happy Few.
We Happy Few. It's crazy. Like actually, with the benefit of all these games combined, actually kind of makes up for the fact that we don't have another Bioshock game.
It's spreading out the creativity.
Yeah, it's spreading out the creativity, which is fantastic, right? So like we get all these like even more fantastic games in just one.
Yeah.
Granted, all that combined could have maybe made like a freaking like revolutionary game, but that's the debate because you know Spec Ops has got a really good story, but it's kind of got the generic gameplay kind of. But Gone Home, you got the fantastic story also, but you know you kind of got just also kind of not generic gameplay. But then you got We Happy Few, which has got the aesthetic, but I'm not sure about the gameplay. It's weird.
It's weird, man. But
funny.
Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, and then like Resident Evil, like I said, I don't think that ever got started. I mean, we still technically got a Resident Evil for Vita at least.
Yeah.
Revelations 2, but then it was all weird where it was like digital only, episodic, and it was just like, ah. I hear it's not bad on Vita though. Like I would like to check it out, but you know, wait for it to be on sale, some plus sale, $5 get you all 5 episodes.
Oh, that'd be great.
That would be great. But yeah. But yeah, that's the thing about the cancel games. It's just you can't just assume that they're all going to be awesome. All right, like some of these cancel games probably just weren't working.
Pirates of the Caribbean one I remember being great.
Yeah, I always found it weird that Disney was publishing a game that actually had the word "damned" in it. It was called Pirates of the Caribbean: Armada of the Damned. I was like, that's a little dark for Disney to put that in the title.
Armada of the Damned, lost in the dam. They wanted to get on the damned train.
Yeah, damn train.
Yeah, all these people saying that Bioshock, I mean, GTA had pretty good single-player DLC. I'm curious about the Bioshock DLC once I get to play it.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm excited. Once we get the collection.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to Daredevil for a second, like, this was just a little disappointing because I just want to see more of the character, you know?
Well, I guess the Netflix episodes weren't enough.
Well, you know what I mean. We want to see Marvel in video games. Yeah. That's why we're so excited for that Spider-Man game.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's finally, Marvel approaching AAA console market again.
Finally.
and then taking a very big stride by getting Insomniac to develop it.
Hell yeah.
So it's got me this question wondering, like, who should develop a Daredevil game? Because it could be
Sucker
anybody.
Punch.
Huh?
It could be Sucker Punch.
Could be Sucker Punch.
I mean, they're like, Daredevil has that really good movement too, similar to Spider-Man, and that would work really well. Open world setting.
Cool.
That'd be so cool. Or not Rocksteady. That's the easy answer.
Rocksteady's the easy answer. It's like Warner Brothers don't care. They made the Lego Marvel games. They don't care.
They don't care.
But
mm-hmm.
I guess Sucker Punch, but I don't know who else kind of fits that mold of Daredevil.
Not really sure. I mean, going Sony first party.
It doesn't have to be Sony first party because it could be anybody at this point.
Ben would do a good job with that.
Yeah, Ben's good.
Maybe once they get Days Gone out.
Yeah, once that game comes out, they can finally take a breath and say, all right, let's start from scratch on this Daredevil game.
But then again, I mean, well, and then another tidbit that I think we failed to mention last week is that perhaps maybe they had some false starts. Like they said not to assume that they've been working on Days Gone since after Golden Abyss, actually. So
took time to develop by 414.
Oh yeah, it sure did. It's the Santa Monica situation where they also did have a false start.
Yeah.
See, that's the unfortunate thing about this generation is that we had some developers have some false starts and just it didn't work out, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's false starts all the time with all sorts of things, but like I don't know. It seemed like this generation, a lot of developers had maybe some. Oh, hell, maybe even 1 to 2 years, and then nope. I mean, Uncharted 4 even had its false start, kind of.
Yeah.
But I mean, months of mocap was done and scrapped.
Thrown away.
I mean, I would love to see it, but that's not gonna happen.
No, for a second, I'm thinking of like other studios that can do other Marvel games.
Yeah.
Like I said 2 weeks ago, I was like, oh, Sony Santa Monica doing a Wolverine game would be amazing.
Oh my god. Yes.
Like, can you imagine seeing that logo, the Santa Monica logo, then the Marvel logo, and then you hear just like, "What are you looking at, bub?" And then it like cuts from black to Wolverine, just tearing people apart.
I would love, and then you have like Weapon X Wolverine.
Or oh god, how about this? How about how I pitched this game to you? Rockstar developed Punisher game in the vein of Max Payne 3.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, I think.
I mean, already when you see the Rockstar logo, you're gonna freak the hell out. Like anytime you see the Rockstar logo, you freak the hell out. But then you see it followed by the Marvel logo, and then you hear like a Frank Castle monologue, and you just lose your shit again. And then you just see it's like basically like Max Payne 3, but with the Punisher.
It's weird because like we haven't had a good Max Payne game really.
Yeah,
we've had like those shooters.
Yeah, because that's the thing with the Punisher. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't really picture that being a full like open world game. I just picture more linear, kind of like Max Payne. You know?
Yeah. It's not gonna. It wouldn't be cool.
Because I don't want it to be like GTA and it's just reskinned with Frank Castle, blowing every goddamn thing up. You know, like no, like I want something.
Where there's a Punisher mod for GTA 5.
Yeah, somebody's gonna mod it. There's probably already one, but
it's probably already one.
But no, I mean, like, I would love to see something kind of more linear from Rockstar, like, you know, more story-driven linear thing.
We had that. We had Max Payne 3.
Yeah, with Max Payne 3. But I mean, like, another one like that, but, like, with Punisher. And, like, your Punisher going through the story. And, like, Punisher isn't that much different from Max Payne. Like, just even as a character.
I don't know.
But, yeah, I mean, Rockstar Punisher game would just, like, blow people's minds.
Oh, but speaking of Rockstar, I think before we don't fail, I'll mention this before we wrap up, is that like Horror of the Orient seems like it's not coming out, even though it's probably not even going to be published by Rockstar, but that was a Team Bondi game that they were working on in Australia.
Oh, God,
it was weird.
How many years has it been since LA Noire?
Well, now 5.
5 years and those guys haven't put out a game yet?
Yeah, so, I mean, they had funding from the Australian government.
Oh, well, I guess they had that.
They did have that, but yeah, it's unfortunate. Because I loved LA Noire. I love LA Noire.
Say, oh god, Team Bondi making an Agent Carter game.
Yeah, you know, I would forget
using all their LA Noire assets to like give everybody photorealistic.
I didn't kill her. Oh, you can't see my facial expressions, but you know, I'm changing my face from sad, concerned to angry.
You get to play as Peggy Carter, and she just hollers out all the liars. You're lying.
I mean, I loved LA Noire. Like that game is fantastic. I mean, and a lot of people have really grown to love that game, which is fantastic also. Because you can get the game for like dirt cheap, so like people are like kind of coming onto it now, especially like where like in the mid 2010s, people are really liking it a whole lot. So it's a shame that people that are like barely just playing it now, like, oh, I want a sequel. Well, like the studio is like basically closed, and let's not also forget, like, people had some really interesting complaints about working at that studio. The working conditions weren't well, and yeah, the development of LA Noir was definitely not smooth either. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate, man. I mean, I would have loved to see that
I
technology
mean,
implemented more and all that,
well,
but
I mean, it's just the thing where like Rockstar still owns the IP, so they could still make
they
another
do.
one. It would
Yes.
just won't be from them. It'll be like from Rockstar themselves.
Oh my gosh.
'Cause that's what
And
happened with, huh?
I do wonder where the technology goes though, because it is a Team Monday thing. Like the technology they did develop with the face technology.
Maybe they can buy it out or just do some version of
Yeah,
it.
they could. Yeah. I mean, Rockstar. I remember one day someone posed a question to them about that for GTA 5. Like, oh, why didn't you implement that? Like the Rockstar's just like, no, no, we don't
No,
want that.
we don't want
Um,
that, man.
even though you have the freaking voice actors look exactly the same, but um, yeah, it's just, oh gosh, I have really good memories playing Alan Noir.
Yeah, I
Definitely one of
mean,
my favorite games on PS3.
yeah, because I mean that's what Rockstar did with Max Payne. The first two were developed by Remedy in association with Rockstar.
Mm.
Rockstar like the publisher. Remedy was the developer. Then Remedy moved on, and Rockstar still in the IP. So they're like, well, we'll do Max Payne 3 ourselves. Even
Mm.
though a couple months ago, a month or two ago, Remedy was some guy from Remedy was like, "Oh yeah, we would love to come back to the Max Payne franchise," even though they can't. Because like, is Remedy owned by Microsoft now?
Remedy.
I think they're owned by Microsoft.
Uh, gosh, I don't believe so.
They're just the second party.
Yeah, the second
Kind of
part.
like,
It's a Quantic Dream
yeah,
situation.
it's their that's their Quantic Dream is Remedy.
Even though Quantum Break wasn't even really received all that well. Ugh.
That's good,
I mean, some
from what I
people like
hear.
just yeah, it's very mixed. I mean, some people like it, and then
And we'll see. So yeah, if they're not owned by Microsoft, then there's a chance that could happen, but I doubt it. Unless there's like this huge demand for like another Max Payne game, and Rockstar's just like, we don't have time to develop that. So and the Remedy's like, we'll do it. And then Rockstar's like, okay, like if you want to do it,
hmm
you know.
yeah.
So we shall see. But let's see, we are hour and 12 minutes in, so I guess we should wrap this up. You know.
hmm
So, with all that, this has been the PSBS PlayStation Blizzard Podcast, episode 66. I'm your host, Code TPS and Bye Boys, and my coach here is.
Introducing Stoveless. Everyone have a fantastic week.
Have a good week. 4th of July's coming up.
Celebrate that. Be careful.
Be careful. Have fun. Thanks for listening. Also want to give a thanks to, because I feel a little bad. We don't acknowledge them enough, but I want to thank Dayspace for providing our iTunes version.
Yes. Every week.
Every week, yes. Sadly, we don't give them enough credit, but they do help us out. They give us our iTunes versions, and they also provide other podcasts also on their same iTunes channel, including Character Crunch and Living Room Clutter. Living Room Clutter covers Rock Band and other music game related news. Character Crunch covers like movies and superhero stuff. So check that out. They're on the same channel as us on iTunes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
So you could just click on the tab of like the creator, and then bam, you have them all right there.
yeah, all right there. So again, thanks to them for helping us out, getting us on iTunes. But yeah, anyway, and thanks to you for listening for this long, an hour and 13 minutes. I know it's not like a super long episode, but still, thanks for listening. Make it to the end, getting this far, listening to us talk about stuff, PlayStation stuff. But yeah. But anyway, like I said, with that, it's been the PSBS episode 66, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week.